Hi, I'm Doc AJ Chua and welcome to Adjusting Your Heart. Our topic today is how to conquer the fear of dying. Death is a grim but stark reality of life. It strikes anyone, no matter how rich or how powerful one might be. It strikes people of all ages and people from different walks of life. Since all of us will inevitably face death at one point in our lives, the best way is to be prepared for it. Would cryonics, the technique of deep freezing the bodies of people who have just died, be the answer? Did you know that fear is not necessarily a negative emotion? When one exhibits healthy fear, it can trigger safety behavior, like hand washing, to prevent the spread of the virus, not touching sockets, especially when your hands are wet. However, unhealthy fears can lead to mental health problems like phobia and social anxiety. Starting this episode, I'll be tackling on how to conquer our fears, be it of dying, aging unknown, or speaking in public. So for today, we're going to talk about how to conquer the fear of dying. My first point is to face your fear of dying. A lot of older Chinese don't like to talk about death or even to hear the word death uttered. You notice that in buildings or establishments owned by a Chinese, there's no fourth floor. That's because the number 4 sounds like death. Growing up, I was forbidden to wear black because it symbolized death for my parents. It was only when my grandmother died that I was allowed to wear black. The fear of death is also known as thanatophobia. It's natural to be afraid of losing our own lives or that of our loved ones. Yet, that is something that will not go away just because we ignore or shun it. Life begins at birth. Then we go through several life stages like childhood, adolescence, adulthood. We have no choice but to face death at the end of our journey. But instead of letting the fear of dying steal the peace and joy in our lives, let's face it courageously. And one way we do that is to live a life without regrets. And you can check out our previous video entitled Be Happy, Live Without Regrets. In that video, I asked 3 questions. Who are the people you want to spend more time with? Number 2, who are the people you need to forgive or apologize to? And number 3, what are the things that you still want to do? Actor and playwright Shed Mohammed Ahmed wisely remarked, "Stop keeping your clothes and shoes for special occasions. Wear them whenever you can. Nowadays, being alive is a special occasion." My second point is communicate your last wishes. Prepare for the inevitable. Let your loved ones know what to do with your body and assets. This takes the burden off from your grieving family members. My dad has already brought their own funeral plans. My parents want to be buried and not cremated. My mom has instructed me that in case she has another stroke in the future, I should sign a DNR note, a do not resuscitate note, instructing medical personnel not to revive her once her heart stops beating. She has even chosen the dress that she'd want to wear and the picture that she wants to be displayed at the wake. It's the picture she took when she was 60 and she said she's much younger and more beautiful. On my part, I already told Hans that I want to be cremated. I want a simple, short, and joyful way. Even when I was still single, all my bank accounts have my dad or my brother Jackson as co-depositors. That way, in case something happens to me, they can access the little money that I've saved. Of course, now, Hans is my co-depositor. I'm compiling a list of all our accounts, insurances, who to contact to just in case, and where the documents are located. I will give 1 copy to Hans and also a copy to my brothers, so that in case something happens to both Hans and I, my brothers can take care of things. I haven't finalized the list, but I would want to donate money to certain institutions. I realized that I should come up with a list of all my passwords from Pastor Steve Murrell. He's the founder of Every Nation Churches and Ministries and wrote a very insightful article entitled The Top 10 personal finance tips before you die. Or put the link below and you can check that out. So if you have properties, you may also consider transferring the land titles to your children. It would be wise to write a will on how you'd like to divide your assets once you die. This will prevent your children from fighting over them. If you decide to give them to your children while you're still alive, do leave a portion for your own use. That way, you don't need to ask them for money. Pastor Steve exhorted that we write love letters to our loved ones and instruct them to open the letters only when we're gone. This was exactly what 5-year-old Elena Deserich did. She was diagnosed with brain cancer, and because her tumor was inoperable, she was only given 135 days to live. Unbeknownst to her parents, she began writing, drawing, and hiding hundreds of love notes around the house. After she died, her parents found the notes while doing chores around the house. Nearly all her notes said, "I love you," and every single note feels like a soothing hug from Elena. And her parents compiled all the notes and created a book entitled Notes Left Behind. Chen Xiaotian was just 5 when doctors found a malignant tumor in his brain, months before his mother, Zhou Lu, 34, contracted kidney disease. After battling 2 years, the disease aggressively returned, and Chen was told that he would not reach adulthood. The doctors informed Chen's grandma, Lu Yuanshu, that her grandson would not survive, but his kidneys could help his mother and also save 2 other lives as well. Of course, Chen's mother refused point blank. When Chen, who was blind and paralyzed, overheard the dilemma, he told his mother, "I want to save your life." So in tears, the mother agreed, saying that if her son was to die, her only consolation was that part of him would live on in her. Doctors confirmed that the tissue match was perfect. So when Chen died, he was quickly moved to the operating room where his kidneys and liver were removed and then donated to his mother and 2 other people. Another hero story was that of Rogelio Valdesco III. This was featured in GMA News in 2018. As a young boy, Rogelio would ask his father Roger if what happened to Tony Stark, aka the Iron Man, was possible in real life. Roger told him that it's simply impossible to remove the heart, even for just a little while, and then turn into a superhero. When Rogelio passed away from a lingering illness at the tender age of 18, Roger remembered that his son had always dreamt of becoming a superhero. Hence, they decided to donate his vital organs when he was pronounced brain dead. Rogelio said that though it pains him that his son is no longer around, it gives him so much joy and pride to know that he was instrumental in restoring life back to 20 transplant patients. So if you want to become an organ donor, you can indicate your intention to donate your organs on your driver license, or carry around an organ donor card, which you can download and print via the Organ Donor Card Facebook page. We'll put the link below. My third point is entrust your soul to Jesus. Allow me to share with you some Chinese history. China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, was well known for unifying China, giving China its name, and building large sections of the Great Wall of China. Did you know that the Great Wall of China is not only designated as one of the 7 wonders of the medieval world, but has recently been included in the new 7 wonders of the world? And I'm glad that I took a picture there last 2008. Emperor Qin Shi Huang launched an obsessive search for the elixir of life before dying at the age of 49 in 210 BCE. The nationwide quest is mentioned in a 2,000-year-old text written on thousands of wooden slats. He was buried in the world's largest tomb in Xi'an, not far from the famous terracotta army that was created to honor him and protect him in the afterlife. The 8,000 soldiers depicted his armies included horses and chariots. They were found in 2002 at the bottom of a well in central Hunan province. In our medically advanced society, People are now looking into cryonics as a way to prolong life. In January 1967, cancer patient James Bedford became the first person to be cryogenically frozen in a capsule designed by Edward Hope. Dennis Kowalski, the president of the Cryonics Institute, is optimistic that there will come a time that science will find solutions to biological damage that's irreparable by today's standards. The aim of cryonics is to keep bodies in a stable, preserved state until the necessary medical technology arrives. So the Cryonic Institutes hold 206 bodies, while Alcor has 182 bodies of people from ages 2 to 101. This is recorded in New York Times and dated June 26, 2021. Architect Stephen Valentine has been given a multi-million-dollar budget from anonymous donors to develop the Timeship project. The 6-acre site will house the world's largest life extension research center, the Stasis Research Park. The entire facility will be off-grid, using wind and solar energy to avoid potential power outages. The location has been carefully chosen to be far from earthquakes, tornadoes, and snowstorms. The 3 challenges faced by cryonics are: number 1, how to repair the damage done by freezing. Second, how to cure whatever ailment that originally killed the subject. And number 3, how to reverse the aging process so that the subject has a young and healthy body to enjoy. And another question to ponder if cryonics ever succeed is that, would you want to live in another era in which you literally know no one? Of course, we know that this is very expensive, so that means only the rich can avail of it. So if you ask me, my friends, I hope that you would entrust your souls to Jesus. Ever since I've done so, I no longer fear death, as I know where I'm going. I claim God's promise in John chapter 6, verse 47 that says, I tell you the truth, he who believes in me has eternal life. Jesus Christ died on the cross for my sins, and I have believed in him, so my sins are forgiven. And the good news is, he rose again from the grave after 3 days. Hence, he conquered death. And those who believe in him will one day enjoy eternal bliss in heaven, a place where there's no more tears, no more pain, and no more suffering. If you want to know more about this, you can check out our previous video, How to Grieve with Hope. So how to conquer our fear of dying? 1 is to face your fear of dying. 2, communicate your last wishes. And 3, entrust your soul to Jesus. You may also share your insights by commenting below. If you're blessed by this video, please like it, share it to others, and please subscribe. And next week, our topic will be how to conquer the fear of aging. Stay safe, everyone.